Good afternoon, everyone. We are coming live to you from Saratoga, New York, in Studio 1A. Just hours ago, a battle between the British and colonists was fought. As we know from prior knowledge, the first Battle of Saratoga happened on September 19th in 1777 at Freeman's Farm in Saratoga, New York, near the Hudson River. General John Burgoyne for the British and General Gates for the Americans. The British used the divide and conquer method, which was where General Burgoyne was coming down from Canada in the north and General Howe was coming up from the south from Pennsylvania, trying to isolate the New England colonies from the other colonies in America. Their only goal was to stop the American rebellion from the colonists. The Americans were unprepared for this battle and they lost. From help of Benedict Arnold, our troops captured 86% of the British troops. Altogether, in both battles fought of Saratoga, 800 colonists and 1,500 British soldiers have lost their lives. Please take a moment of silence for these soldiers. Thank you. Now we have field reporter Jenny Cumberbatch here to answer some of our questions about the Second Battle of Saratoga and to help us find out what really happened.
Hello, I'm coming to you live from the scene of the battle that just happened hours ago. First, we will have some words with General who led the British through the treacherous war. In between the two battles, General John Burgoyne took his troops to Vermont to heal and replenish. The Second Battle of Saratoga just hours ago on October 7, 1777. Before the second battle happened, the American troops had knowledge of the British heading towards them. The two battles were 18 days apart from one another. It was a long and intense battle between the British and the colonists. At the end of the day, the colonists won because the British surrendered. So, General John Burgoyne, what was your opinion on the first battle of Saratoga? Because of your success of the first battle, what did you expect the results to be for the second?
Well, Jenny Cumberbatch, I thought that the British would obviously win the second battle with our elite troops and military gear, but that's not what happened, did it? I let my jealousy of Howie get in the way since he was liked by many people and our plan was to meet in the middle of Canada.
So knowing that you had multiple battles coming down to Saratoga and your men were unfit to fight, why did you continue to battle and risk your chances and your men's?
Well, I wanted to continue to fight with my men because I do not like losing a battle. I presented the divide and conquer plan to the British Prime Minister in London, which was to invade America from Canada by advancing down the Hudson Valley to Albany. I thought that the plan was bulletproof, but it didn't work in the end.
Having the knowledge of knowing that William Howe was a part of your plan in the first place on isolating New England on the west side of the Hudson, where you were going down from the north through Canada and Howe was coming from the south, but the question is, why did you proceed to the battle without helping Howe?
The reason why I proceeded to fight without Howe was because I thought I could win the battle without his help. He was admired by many people, even appointed to Major General in 1772. You could obviously see why I was very jealous of him, and that's why I wanted to prove to everyone that I could win this battle without his help.
Knowing your success in the beginning on your way down to Saratoga, did you expect to surrender at the final result?
Are you kidding me? Is that even a question? Of course I didn't think I would surrender at the end of the battle, but I had no choice. The troops crashed together south of the town of Saratoga, and my army was broken. Around 86% of troops that were under my command were captured. I let my army down, and my only solution was to surrender.
Now, based off your last answer, did you continue leading the British into success after your choice of surrendering, or did you have different plans in mind?
Well, after the surrender, I returned to England with great disgrace that I have caused. But I spent a year as the Commander-in-Chief of the Army in Ireland, but eventually resigned my military office to dabble in politics and work on my two plays that I wrote called Maid of the Oaks and The Harriers in '86.
After speaking with British General John Burgoyne, we heard what he had to say about the results of the first battle. What did you expect the results to be at the end of the second?
Since we lost the first battle, I was hoping that my army would realize what we were doing and they would want to win the second battle, which we eventually achieved. We led the British to surrender in the second battle, which was a great success for the Americans. All because of my great companion, Benedict Arnold, who disobeyed my orders to stay in the camp and eventually charged, with our men leading a great victory.
With having prior knowledge on the relationship between you and the British from the past conflicts and battles, especially on their way down from Canada, what were your intentions on fighting them?
Our way of fighting the British was to use guerrilla warfare, in which armed soldiers used ambushes, sabotages, and finally hit-and-run tactics, which it worked and we finally won the battle in the end.
Knowing the British were successful on their way down through Canada to Saratoga, what was your plan for the first battle and the second?
Well, in the first battle, we didn't do so great and gave confidence to the British soldiers, but in the second battle, we surprisingly had great success. We set up our defenses at Bemis Heights, more militiamen arrived, and our forces continued to grow with the end result of a great victory.
General Gates, did you know of the divide and conquer plan that the British generals Howe and Burgoyne were supposed to use to defeat your troops in Saratoga, New York?
No, I didn't know anything about their divide and conquer plan, but that didn't give me any second guesses that we would lose in the end. I had great confidence in my troops, which they proved to me after the second battle. In the end of the British casualties mounted 600 men and finally retreated their forces.
After the battles of Saratoga, were there any surprising alliances that the American forces made?
Yes, we did make a great alliance with France. Soon after word of our victory, the King of France, King Louis XIV, agreed to recognize the independence of the United States and made arrangements with Benjamin Franklin to seek France's aid to the American cause. They were a great addition to the American forces, especially since they had a great navy, soldiers, and many weapons.
Lost, knowing that the Americans won. Stay tuned to find out what happens for the sake of America. Lost, knowing that the Americans won. Stay tuned to find out.
Having the knowledge of knowing that William Howe was a part of your plan on isolating New England on the west side of the Hudson.
Well, Jenny Cumberbatch.
Didn't even finish the question.
Are you kidding me? Is that even a question? I can't feel my fingers.
I'm here with, what's her name? Hi, I'm here with I'm here with General Gates, the British, Fuck!
It's not as cold here.
What were your intentions on fighting the British?
Our way of fighting the British was to use guerrilla warfare.
After the battles of Saratoga, with having prior knowledge on the relationship between you and the British from the past conflicts and
Soldiers used ambushes, sabotages, and finally hit and run a tactic.
Tactic! What were your intentions on fighting the British?
We're not doing this.
I'm down!